August 3rd, 2025. The Strait of Hormuz was calm, the sea a mirror. Then, in one violent instant, Iran shattered the peace. From hidden launch pads came 5 Shahed 238 suicide drones and an Arad 500 supersonic missile. They streaked low over the waves, closing fast on an isolated US Navy destroyer, an Ali Burke-class guided missile ship separated from the USS Gerald R. Ford strike group due to an engine failure. On board, 287 sailors went about routine duties, unaware they were minutes from catastrophe. At 08:45 a.m., the Arad 500 slammed into the destroyer's aft propulsion section. 14,000 gallons of fuel ignited in a massive fireball visible for miles and powerful enough to register 2.1 on coastal seismographs. Steel tore apart, debris flew 300 feet into the air. 2 sailors died instantly, one just 19 years old, and 5 others were critically wounded. Smoke rose black and heavy, yet the stars and stripes still snapped defiantly above the ruined deck. Iranian commanders watching from 31 miles away congratulated themselves. They believed they had struck an isolated, lightly armed target. What they didn't realize was that this easy prey belonged to the most advanced carrier strike group in the US Navy, and every ship in that group had just heard the distress call. 08:47 a.m. 2 minutes after the blast, an encrypted signal reached the Gerald R. Ford's Combat Information Center. Ship disabled. Casualties confirmed. Missile strike. Origin Iranian corvette. Silence followed for a heartbeat. Then Rear Admiral Douglas Keller's voice cut through. We respond immediately. In less than 2 minutes, 2 F-35C Lightning II jets roared off the Ford's deck, bound for the crippled ship. Their orders locate the attacker-assessed damage stream targeting data. From a forward airbase, 5 A-10 Thunderbolt II lifted into the sky, each armed with a GAU-8 Avenger 30mm cannon, THRAV 900 rounds per minute of armor-piercing destruction, and GBU-38 precision bombs. Trailing them, UH-60. Black Hawks carried 50 Navy SEALs and medics to extract survivors and secure the scene. 09:12 a.m. The F-35s locked onto the Iranian corvette. Without a word, the A-10s dove. Cannon fire ripped into the vessel, followed by 2 2,000-pound bombs that tore through its midsection. The explosion threw fragments half a mile. The ship didn't sink, it ceased to exist, consumed in fire and smoke. But this was only the opening act. 09:20 a.m., the Ford's War Council assembled. Satellite reconnaissance traced the missile's launch point to a heavily fortified Iranian UAV and missile base 172 miles inland near Bandar Lenga. This wasn't a small outpost. It was a Tier 1 hub with Rod 2 air defense systems, Burkon 9 missile batteries, multiple Shahed drone pads under reinforced concrete, and 200 IRGC personnel. Admiral Keller's order was clear. We take it out completely. 10 a.m. Operation Judgment Spear launched. 10 F-15E Strike Eagles loaded with GBU-53B Stormbreaker bombs, 6 MQ-9B Reaper drones for laser targeting, 5 Switchblade 600 kamikaze drones to destroy radar and SAM launchers, 3 EA-18G Growlers to jam Iranian communications. 10:41 a.m. Switchblade struck first, wiping out 3 Rod-2 launchers and 2 radar arrays within 45 seconds. Confused Iranian crews fired blindly into empty sky. Reapers painted targets, hangars, fuel depots, the command bunker. From 35,000 feet, the F-15Es released Stormbreakers in staggered sequence. A fuel depot holding 120,000 gallons erupted into a 400-foot fireball. The command bunker collapsed, killing the senior IRGC officer. 12 Shahed UAVs were destroyed before they could launch. In under 2 minutes, the base was reduced to scorched earth. Civilian casualties, 0. By 12:15 p.m., Iranian retaliation began. US sensors picked up 3 Su-24 Fencer bombers armed with Kh-29 anti-ship missiles lifting from southern Iran. At the same time, sonar aboard the USS Thomas Hudner detected a Fate-class submarine creeping toward torpedo range. The Aegis combat system took control. SPY-1D radar aboard USS Normandy tracked the Su-24s at 280 nautical miles. 2 SM-6 missiles obliterated the first 2 jets. A Super Hornet on patrol downed the third with an AMRAAM from 40 miles out. Underwater, a P-8A Poseidon deployed 16 sonobuoys, triangulating the Fate's location in 90 seconds. An MH-60R Seahawk confirmed the track, and the Hudner launched a rocket-delivered Mk-54 torpedo ahead of the submarine's path. The detonation crippled its power and propulsion. Facing a second torpedo, the Iranian captain surfaced and retreated. Mission aborted. Time from first detection to withdrawal, 16 minutes. But intelligence revealed one more threat. A second Iranian command hub near Bandar Abbas, disguised among warehouses and civilian docks, feeding targeting data to remaining missile forces. Leaving it operational was not an option. 15:42, the strike began. 3 Growlers went in first, flooding Iranian radar with false contacts. Reapers painted the bunker antenna arrays and a suspected missile guidance hangar. 8 FA-18E Super Hornets skimmed low over the water before pulling up to release 16 GBU-31 JDAMs in sequence. Each 2,000-pound bomb struck within a meter of its mark. Concrete peeled like paper. Steel towers folded. The bunker collapsed. Hidden fuel tanks detonated in a secondary blast, sending an 800-foot column of black smoke into the sky. Total time from jamming to final detonation, 4 minutes 27 seconds. Civilian casualties 0. Iranian operational control in the Gulf gone. The Gulf fell silent. No drones, no missiles. The Gerald R. Ford strike group sailed on untouched. For those aboard, this was more than victory. It was a message: the US Navy doesn't start fights, but it always finishes them. This wasn't just a battle, it was a masterclass in power, precision, and resolve. If you believe the world should see what happens when America is challenged, share this story right now. If you stand with the sailors, pilots, and warriors who guard freedom on the seas, hit the like button. And if you never want to miss the next time the US Navy makes history, subscribe now, because the next chapter is already being written and you'll want to see it unfold.